Hi, and welcome. This is Jan Roberts from Key Leadership Institute, and we are already on the 11th value today. Wow. I hope you enjoyed the other 10 so far and that you're enjoying this journey of values because Arthie and myself have renamed this values-based leadership process as sustainable personal development, which is something we need each and every single day. And to do it through values by understanding values, which gives you the solid foundation for your life and business, it stands you well for the rest of your life, but only if you take action. And the action steps we give you, there is more action steps, or even one you can think of yourself, but do something every day to improve yourself in one of these values, and it'll improve your life dramatically. People around you are going to start noticing. I can guarantee that for you. But this is an exciting value for me because the value of compassion has been written by my wife and partner, Arthie Moore. And you can download this entire value on her website, www.arthiemore.com, as well as a poem about compassion. And at the moment, she's writing a book, The Compassionate Leader of Influence, which will come out later this year. And I'm already excited about it because I know how brilliant that is going to be. We can all do more with compassion in our life and the lives around us. See, compassion is the key ingredient to help others grow. It is an intrinsic part of our ability to truly connect at a deep level with every person we interact with. How about that? How if we could interact more deeply with every person and understand them from where they're at, rather than come from our level? Because if there was ever a need for compassion around the world, it is right now. I talked about it the other day, but there was an article I read and I couldn't even do a Facebook Live about it, even though I wanted to because I was choked up. And so I just wrote a Facebook post about this. But thousands and hundreds of thousands of children are suffering at this time because of anxiety, depression, fear, lockdowns, and all the psychological damage that is getting done to them. And it's not okay. And we keep locking them in. We keep locking them down that they don't. Their 5-year-olds are fear to leave the house. We need to show all our children some more compassion because the children of today are the leaders and of the future, and they are our future. And what are we creating? It is a disaster, and this needs to stop. We need to start with showing compassion and do everything we can to make sure this goes away because this is not okay. See, a compassionate person comprehends, connects, understands, and accepts people for who they are and where they are in their journey. Like Stephen Covey mentioned that so well, the late Stephen Covey says, understand before being understood. And everybody is at a different level and a different area of their journey and a different path. And we need to learn to understand them so we can provide them with the compassion that each and every one of us craves, needs, and requires. See, as a compassionate person, you choose to see the good in everyone. How wonderful is that? And that is so important because at the moment that's not really happening. And compassionate people live a life of intention. Say the intentional seek to use integrity in every aspects of their own lives in order to stay true and respectful to themselves first. See, we need to show compassion at ourselves and we need to be respectful for ourselves, as I talked about in the value of respect. We expect other people to respect us, but we need to respect them. But first of all, we need to respect ourselves. And compassion is the same. We need to have self-compassion as well. But intentional. So people say, well, I've got good intentions. Well, I've had good intentions too. We all have had them. But there is a big difference between having good intentions and being intentional, living a life of intention. I do a talk about intentional living as well. And it's so impactful because the difference between having good intentions and living an intentional life is we've all heard that the road is paved with good intentions. But people with good intentions do something good occasionally. But people who live an intentional life do something good continually. Now, that is the big difference. You wake up in the morning with great intention and become intentional for the rest of your day, live that day with full intention and follow through on that intentionally. And then you actually, if you throw compassion in there, you lead a compassionate and intentional day. And then another day and another day. Before you do it, it's a week, a month, and you have an intentional life full of compassion. Every day we need to be able to practice these values. And showing compassion as a person does not mean that you have to accept the way people treat and respect you. It merely means that you do not allow their actions to define how you behave towards them in response. Now, there's a few key things in there because ever since the last 16, 18 months, and I speak my truth. It's not to make people think the way I think, but give another side to the story. And many people didn't agree with me, and they started calling me names and all that. Now, I don't call people names back. I don't lower myself to that level. I want to bring people up. So I still treat them with respect, as I talk about in the value of respect. And I am anyway compassionate about understanding them. Sometimes I don't really understand them, but I want to understand them, but I still don't call them names, and hopefully I'll lift them up. But if you're going to lift people up to your level, what are you lifting them up to? That's for that we need to be more compassionate. We need to study these values, and we need to grow every single day ourselves so we can keep lifting people. Great leaders lift people up, not only to their levels, but lift them, help them past them. That's the biggest kind of leadership. Totally different lesson, and a whole lesson all by itself. But it is so important that we respond. We don't react. And when you react, it's when everything around you governs what you do and what you say. When you respond, it's from within. You take some maybe a split second, just think before you say something, so you have some restraint, and you don't have to ask for forgiveness. Another two values I've talked about. But acceptance is something that every person craves. And by showing compassion and caring, we are able to help many people heal from their invisible wounds and grow into the life they truly deserve. And there is so many people who have invisible wounds at the moment that that really need help, that really people need to grow from and grow through, and we can all help each other so much. You might have some invisible wounds yourself that need help, but the world is in crisis right now, if you haven't noticed. And as you know, I also gave you two benefits, two characteristics and two steps to follow to become more compassionate. And the first is the benefits of being more compassionate is that you will build powerful, lifelong relationships with your spouse, partner, families, and colleagues as they experience the generosity of your compassion and your thoughtfulness. That is very important. And the second one is being a compassionate person of influence will allow you to impact many lives by speaking your truth, encouraging and inspiring others. See, when that talks into your authenticity and actually providing this authenticity to other people to help them understand and to help them through difficult times from where they are at. Now, some characteristics of a compassionate person are that compassionate people influence others through their thoughtful words and acts of kindness. See, they are also very generous with their time. See, in this fast-paced world, many people don't have time for each other, and many people, maybe they just need somebody to listen to them, and that takes just some time. But really listen to them, not sit there with their phone in their hand and tap, 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 tap. No, all distraction away, listen. I talk about it in the value of listening as well. That was the second value I went through. But also, being compassionate allows them to connect easily and respectfully with any person, regardless of their age, gender, culture, religion, language, or ethnicity. You know what I mean. But yeah, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, and what you are. With people who are compassionate, have that for each and every one, and don't judge anybody because of it. Very powerful. So now I'll give you two steps to follow that you can become more compassionate. And the first one is make time for others. I already mentioned that, but it's a serious step. See, because time is valuable commodity, and it means a lot to someone when you say that you will make time for them. This makes them feel seen and valued as a person, and that is so important at any time. But so many people are alone, and even more so, they are lonely. They're not feeling seen. Even sometimes in a crowd, you are lonely. See, being alone is not always a bad thing, but being lonely can be very damaging to your soul. So make time for others. The second one is let integrity and honesty flow through your words, actions, behavior, and deeds in your daily life. See, intentionally, there's the word again, intentionally choose thoughtful words and action to show people that you truly care about them. You can also say that you truly care about them. It doesn't matter how you say it, but care about them. The way you behave and what you do. Now, this is very powerful, and I hope that you are getting some of this, and that you want to be part of this and grow your compassion. So I've given you two steps. There's many more, but my question to you every time is, What action will you implement today, today, not tomorrow, maybe next week? What, maybe even one of the two, make time for others, or show integrity in everything you say, do, and that you show people that you care for them. What kind of action step will you take so you will improve yourself on the value of compassion? It's always a choice. We all need to be more compassionate. We need to grow together. This world needs it more than ever. Our youth need us to be more compassionate to them. Our old people need us to be more compassionate to them. Be compassionate to everybody you can be. Be kinder to everybody around you. And this world will become a better place because you're in it. I hope that makes some sense. And I will see you in the next value. Take care.